But I have seen, yes, please, sir, please. And please articulate. The hearing from here is very bad.
Hello.
Very bad.
Okay.
Please articulate and speak louder.
Hi, I'm Suwandi from HSBC Indonesia, involved in Trade Finance Division. I'd like to know on these smallholder producers, we know that in terms of quantity, a lot of these smallholder producers who want to reach the export market. I'd just like to know how is the best strategy in terms of risk analysis. Is it more on a top-down approach where we start to analyze which industry that we want to tap, then we go into each of the smallholder, or is more on like a bottom-up approach where we analyze based on the strength of each of the smallholder producer itself? Because we know in terms of risk, it might be quite risky to finance the smallholder producer, which might not have a good track record. And if we can elaborate more, maybe in terms of which stage do we actually start to finance them? Is it starting from like an incubating stage where they have an idea, then the bank start to, oh, okay, it's a good idea, let's finance them. Or probably after they start to produce, or maybe in the marketing stage. I'd just like to know more on terms like the strategy on how to tap the right one to be financed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Top-down approach or bottom-up? Any other point? Any other? No more comment? No? Can I? We don't hear at all what you say. Can you give him the microphone? Sorry.
One question. That what is the percentage of total lendings which is non-performing? So I would like to know. And then also I would like to know that what percentage of the markup you subsidize. Is it based on discount rate of the Central Bank of Indonesia, or is it subsidized on some percentage basis of the available market credit loans you see? Thank you.
Mr. Baikuni, that's for you.
First question regarding how do we handle the risk? Yeah? Can I answer in Indonesia since there's a translator?
Yes, please.
Ya, oke. Pak Suwandi ya. Oke, Pak. Pak, mengenai pembiayaan ya, kita bicara lokal eksportir ya, artinya masih pemula ya. Memang biasanya kita bekerja sama dengan lembaga-lembaga bisnis ya, sebagai inkubator gitu ya. Artinya dalam arti sini kita melihat ya, ada beberapa kelemahan-kelemahan daripada eksportir itu sendiri. Nah biasanya melalui lembaga ini, kelemahan-kelemahan ini sendiri sudah bisa diatasi. Sehingga dalam hal ini kita hanya masuk dari segi pembiayaannya saja. Ya. Karena resiko-resiko yang lain yang timbul karena adanya keterbatasan eksportir sebenarnya sudah diatasi oleh lembaga-lembaga inkubator tersebut sendiri. Nah ini model-model ini yang sering. Dan juga cara lain yang kita lakukan dengan cara inti plasma. Ya. Biasanya kita membiayai intinya, kemudian inti punya plasma, nah melalui inti ini sendiri, resiko-resiko yang ada di plasma diambil oleh inti itu sendiri. Ya, ini langkah-langkah. And the second regarding who bear the subsidy, I mentioned we have a product with a subsidy loan. Actually, since our bank is a state-owned enterprise, we deduct at least 2.5% of our profit for the purpose of the corporate social responsibility. And the other, our central bank not allow to give a subsidy, but through our Minister of Finance, government subsidies part of the loan. What kind of the subsidy of the loan? let's say, the commercial rate interest is in Indonesia for SME around 12 to 14%. But the local exporters only pay, let's say, 6%. So the difference, subsidy by the Minister of Finance. But there is a certain amount of the maximum loan, which is subsidy by the Minister of Finance. Am I answered the question?
You want to know
My
Percentage of non-performing.
my bank,
You want the floor?
total non-performing loans is 2.3%. Yeah. For micro loan itself, in BRI, only 1.4% the NPL.
Okay, that's a quite good performance. Mr. Chaudhry, what do you want to add to that?
BRAC Bank's non-performing loan in the SME is around 6%. It's around 6%.
6%?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Any other comments or from the floor? I would like maybe to give 1 minute each to each panelist for you to wrap up a little bit, if no more question out of there. I understand that it's almost lunchtime. I see this as critically important topics for me, which needs connection, needs also be at the right place where the needs are. That's what I heard from all of you, but I'm sure that you can say it more eloquently than myself. Mr. Freud, and then Mr. Baikinui, and we finish with Mr. Chaudhry.
Yes. I would like to make a comment which has something to do with the previous questions. Something that we should be sure when we work is that we have a demand-driven approach. And this comes for providing the services. I mean, we should identify not only the actors, but which are the needs, the bottlenecks, the requirements the company has, so we can deliver the proper services that will really help to enhance the competitiveness of the companies. And this also applies when we're talking about reaching the market, because as Mrs. Puye clearly stated, the buyers are key actors in this process. If we start providing the exporters or producers the right information about what the market is demanding, it will be a very useful way to lower the risk, because we will, in a way, be sure, we are never sure, but we will be closer to be sure that the product they are producing will have a market, will have a buyer, and this will be music for the ears of our friends, the bankers, because once you have, you're sure that the companies will sell the product, it will be very, or will be easier for them to give them a loan to help them in the production stages before the exporting process.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Mr. Baikuni, what can you add to that?
I think I don't want to add, but in making a short conclusions, I think the challenge that the bank face, we cannot solve by the bank itself. We have to work together with the TPO, TSI, and also with the exporter itself. So the most important thing that at least we should have provide information regarding the market to our exporters, and also in the continually basis we have to update information not only regarding the market but also the regulations. Because some regulations issued by its government, that's why we have to continue to update. And also we have to continue to inform what kind of the credit scheme that we can offer to the local producer. That is the conclusion from me.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chaudhry.
What I think is that, I reiterate what I've told earlier, is that at policy level, who is going to actually drive these policy issues. And another thing is that what I feel from the Bangladesh perspective is that there is not enough engagement with the various actors that would enable the rural exporters to reach the overseas buyers. I think this is where we can work on. And my takeaway is that the banks actually are not really capacitated to do the business counseling, business incubator process. This has to be done by the TPOs, TSIs, and there should be capacity build up there as well. Because if they build up the capacity, then the rural exporters and the rural-based SMEs also would be able to build their capacity as well. That's my view.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think this shows the importance, the real importance of this subject, and mostly in our developing countries, very, very important. We have heard a lot about all the bottlenecks being faced by a fragmented clientele. Those small producers in rural areas usually and most importantly are not organized. That is clearly a fact everywhere, I think, in our different countries. And overcoming this first challenge of disorganization, that's what we were really talking about. But for that to happen, no one can really overcome those challenges alone, which means that connection by all the service providers is critical element moving through the whole market supply, the supply chain of that. And we have heard clearly from Bangladesh and others that importance, how we can reduce the transaction cost, helping them get organized, looking at the different comparative advantages, which has been very clearly expressed by from Peru, and moving through the value chain in order to minimize the transaction costs, but also help minimize the risk. We know in that export value chain, getting access to finance is critical, and I was very happy to have here two bankers in our very important panel today, which then really show that that a day-to-day work and dealing with it upfront, even before we need or we come to the bankers, that I think is part of the solution in order to help also minimize risk. I have heard also that, of course, the buyers, understanding the buyer's requirement first before anything. I think that should be the starting point. Understanding the market, but also involving policymakers. You said it, Mr. Chaudhry. It's very important. I would say not only involving policymakers at policy level, but just to enable a conducive business environment, all right, for those small producers, smallholder farmers, to really be able to understand the market requirement, understand the buyer's requirements, and also get the information about the different service providers. Usually they even don't know that there is, you know, a TPO there or a trade support institution which can help. That is critical also. So I think for them to be able to really be part of that globalization. I would summarize all of this to say connection, I think. Connection is the real word which I can take out of there. Connection for them to get organized, but connection between the different service providers. But at the end of the day, it is about connection to market. So that is my take out of this. Clearly, we cannot finish this subject today, but I let it on your very capable hands to take it out of our discussions, and knowing that tomorrow morning we will have a plenary session on all access to finance. And my last thing is that also very important, usually we talk about export, export, export. That's great. But source local, try to also meet the standards of the multinational corporations in our different countries. That also can be part of the export channel, all right? And once we really comply and meet those requirements locally, regionally, before moving to international standards, that also, I think, can be part of the solution to really help those smallholder farmers really be part of the globalization. I used to say that globalization is like a train, c'est un train en marche. Deux choses peuvent se passer, ou on accepte de monter dans le train, ou on reste en gare. Et de toute façon, le train, il va partir. Alors, moi, je suis de ceux qui pensent que rentrer dans le train et faire partie de ceux qui conduisent la locomotive pour pouvoir raise voice, I would say, and make our voice very loud as developing countries, that can be also part of the solution. And in that regard, that can also influence policymakers for them to better really take into account the private sector and smallholder farmers' issues when designing their policy and dealing with all those policies at macro level for those smallholder farmers to really get access to information, get access to affordable services, because usually business development services are very costly. They cannot get access to that. So policymakers have some role to play there. And at the end of the day, I think it is, again, about connection between private, local institutions at meso level and the policymakers at macro level to all together really make this globalization be really effective. So I would like to thank you very, very much, my distinguished panelists. This was really very interesting, even for us as ITC. I used to say that we are a global TPO. So we are here to facilitate your business, but you are the one, and mostly through the trade promotion organizations which we are targeting as our multipliers in the field, sharing with you whatever expertise we have, and ITC has the market expertise, understanding the buyer requirement, and vehicling this information to the trade promotion organization for them afterwards to connect with the other trade support institution. That is the global channel we are really looking at, one-to-many, for everyone to play its own contribution. I would like to thank you very, very much for this. You have been numerous attending this workshop. I hope it was fruitful for all of you. Thank you. Thank you.